bunch. And I ain't heard nobody up there say, we're going to sue this. Do you understand it's supposed to be the poorest district? I ain't heard nobody talk about picking this up. Assembly persons, the two assembly persons, or the senator. All of a sudden, in the last 3 years, they are authority on schools. They ain't held one community meeting, Miss Bay. Not one. And let me do this here. I heard at the work session when the lady got up there and said, I do not live in Landon Square School as an outsider fighting for Landon Square School for my children. Let me say you, George Norcross don't live there. Right. And he run all your elected officials here. Right. Rescue me if I'm wrong. Sheila is a committee person. And there's three people up here are committee people. Who do you think they listening to? They don't even raise money for their own campaign. You understand what I'm saying? Hey, Miss Bay, I'm talking to you. Don't worry about the time.
No, I have to worry about the time because
I'm on time.
I am on time. 1 minute, Mr. Davis.
And then you're going to sit up here and attack me and say that I don't live down there. And the same people, I was out there 30 days with those kids, was standing in the rain and stuff to make sure they got off that corner with this lady. Never asked me, you don't live down here. Sheila would call me 2 weeks ago.
Mr. Davis,
and then you're going to sit up here and come here and
Mr.
mention
Davis,
me by name.
Please. Mr. Davis,
you understand what I'm saying?
Mr.
This
Davis,
is what this man has done to these people.
Mr. Davis, we hear
you. If you want to talk about saving the neighborhood,
your time is up.
They didn't ask the drug dealers down there to leave.
Mr. Davis.
In that neighborhood, the oldest drug neighborhood in South Jersey is in that neighborhood. Okay. They ain't asked none of them to leave.
All right, Mr. Davis.
None of them to leave. Now, I heard what you said about this here. Y'all are going to talk about this here suit. You ain't bringing the suit.
Mr. Davis, I don't want to have the security to escort you out because I don't want to go there.
We're not waiting for you to bring the suit, Mrs. Evans.
All right, Mr. Davis, we hear you. Okay, fine. Okay,
you understand what I'm
your
saying?
Time is up, Mr. Davis. You don't come up here and
try to make me look like I'm some kind of outsider. I put $500,000 worth of grant money down there. None of them did anything. I was born down there. And you're going to tell me that I can't? You're going to tell me that? I know that. I know that.
Well, Mr. Davis, would you respectfully leave the podium?
You're going to tell me that I cannot come in my neighborhood and fight for my people. Yeah. You won't even fight for me.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis, thank you.
People up here. You do people up here. See, now, see what I can do? I can bring charges. Look, I can bring charges.
Mr. Davis, please.
I can bring charges. You do not put your hand on a citizen. They work for me. Don't get this twisted. Don't get this twisted. Yeah, thank you. And I'm not finished with y'all. You're going to talk about I don't live down there. And you're going to give this here. As anybody said, what is the Renaissance? How's the Renaissance School going to improve the quality of education? Did anybody ask that question?
Your time is up, sir.
You know what I mean?
But that's actually leave.
Hey, man, only reason why I'm listening to you, man, because I like you and I respect you. You messed up when you put your hand on it.
Okay, Mr. Davis.
You do not supposed to touch it. And listen, and close. Superintendent, you are the captain of the ship.
Mr. Davis, do we have to call the Camden police to escort you out of here?
And Mr. Mills, you're out of here. You approved 4 charter schools without board approval.
That's right. No.
Yes, you did. Well, you rescued me.
Mr. Davis.
When you didn't approve Lou Katz's name. You didn't even know who Lou Katz was. He went right into the governor's office without an appointment and got the charge, didn't he? $57 million coming out of the school districts for charter schools. And you ain't said nothing to nobody. And you got a problem with me. All of y'all need to go. But a section of a few. You know, hey, Ollie, I like you too. I'm not playing. That's what I'm going to tighten up. And you need to get on out of here because you have destroyed our district. And you brought these fakers in here. Don't you leave by yourself. Take Mills and that Cohen here. I see here on the Choice Award for Black History Month, you got all Spanish down here. What about blacks? Blacks ain't doing nothing. What is this on here? You know? What is this here kind of stuff? You know? Let me see some transparency. We're here too. And if it wasn't no money here, y'all wouldn't even be here. All this money that went out of here. Now, anybody want to continue on the side, I will be right here for any kind of conversation. Thank you. Camden residents, thank you. These are fakers here.
Through the president.
No, we're not going to go.
No, it was the mic.
Oh, okay, let me put that back together. You ain't gonna charge me for breaking nothing.
It's not funny. You know, we asked our speakers to be respectful, give other people the respect that you want. Mr. Ali Sloniel.
We're gonna give them to some fakers. Then you're gonna twist people's arms to come up here and come against me, and they ain't did nothing in their neighborhood. Gotta bring other people in the neighborhood to clean up their own neighborhood.
Tell them, Mr. Wonderly. They all should be fired. Especially the 800-pound gorilla governor we had. Full of big ass.
Ali Sloan L.
It ain't worth laughing at.
1298 Chase Street. Madam President, Superintendent, Vice President, board members, attorney, Mr. Mills, State Monitor, Zaria. I'm not here to address the schools because it's been enough said. And Mungo did that along with Gary and some other folks, Sheila Roberts, Sheila Davis. So I'm going to address a process. And there's a process that needs to take place. The history of the Board of Education go way back, Ms. Bay. And you need to be reminded that there are presidents that came before you. The legendary Mom Riggs, Sarah Davis, President, the late Aletha Wright, Lane Bay. All those that came before you and sat in that seat. And you don't know how to balance the scale. You don't. And personally, it's not getting on you personally, but it comes to say, Madam President, that when certain entities outside this room control what goes on here, and just give you a little lesson in politics, because since you haven't been here, you need to be brought up to speed on these individuals like him sitting there, Azario. He's governed by forces that a lot of folks spoke on. I'm not against the Renaissance. I could care less because they got the votes to do that. Because certain people outside run this city. And we have to take control back. This board's from Camden. You from Camden. She's sent here to do a job. But when you have other men are in control, Shafter's one, Azario's another one, and then they blame you all. What part of madness is that? And we go along like people, like so-called black people, beating each other up, blaming each other because you do not know who you are. And since you're more sister, you're supposed to know about your history, about where we came from. This is a shame to come here and be a part of and say that I've been a part of this when other people control the situations. We have sisters in power. We have a superintendent. She's a sister. We have you the president. How can they dictate to you? You're allowed that to go on. We got your back. All you got to do is say, I'm taking care of the children and the people. Same way with the mayor. These individuals don't care nothing about you but money. Who's working? We ain't working. Where the children benefit? They taking the food. He's taking the food from the children, the lunches. And you going to let him have it. Board back then would have told him, hey, get out of here. And you're the board members. You got to go. He don't dictate nothing. His time of reign of terror with George and the boys and the governor, they all partners. We got to stop this. And if you're scared, sisters, we got your back. The brothers got your back. Time for a change. We're going to produce numbers. And I'm going to close this in. This petition here, it's going to grant you your freedom. We have to do this because you don't understand. You don't. You're slaved in the mind. This is a mind game. Well, look at our schools. And we're bickering back and forth, and we are in power. Come on. We're supposed to have the sisters back, brothers. And allow them to say, he says to me the last couple of meetings, oh, the mayor can't do nothing to me. Didn't you say it? She ain't got no power. I run this. You said it. You said it. Yeah, you lying too. You're lying. You're lying. Who? What you going to do? What you going to do? Keep your mouth shut. I got the mic. Keep your mouth shut.
If you're going to call people names.
Hey.
Look,
Hey.
I never said what he said I said, and I'm not going to sit here in silence over it.
Well,
excuse me. Can you please address your comments?
Then get out there.
And not only that, his time is up.
I'll address my comments.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Can I just remind every member of the public who's here, please address your comments to the chair. If you do not, and if you disrupt this meeting, the police will be called. All right, sir? Thank you.
I'm finished my comments.
Thank you, sir.
Because I wanted the public to know who's in charge. Not you. Card catchers, he's in charge. So when the blame go down, it needs to go down properly around the table. We're going to come get you with this. This will eliminate you. We're coming back now.
Mr. Torres.
Reverend Torres.
Reverend Torres.
Okay, Reverend Torres, 1217 MacArthur Drive. I've been to several meetings lately. Last one we were was at the aquarium, where I stood there and told the superintendent that, all the work that I've been doing around Camden and coming to these school board meetings, we had $400 million in our school district to build schools. If you're going to talk about, passing schools, what's the remedy for the turnaround of Camden School District? Well, certainly new schools, clean schools, repaired schools is definitely the formula to turn around our school district. And that was robbed from us 10 years ago. Now, when you're talking about suing for one school, Mr. Delgado, who used to be a school board member, said that there was a resolution passed by the school board that said that no private school can be built on that land. Now, I know the attorney needs to look that up, but there's supposed to be a resolution that 2 years ago when Delgado was there that the Camden School Board already spent $11 million on that property to remediate the land, and you guys passed a resolution that no private school is going to be built on that land. So you have to check that out before you can do that, or however you turn around a resolution. But check the resolution that should be on the records that Mr. Delgado said there was. Again, with the, I think it's an easy lawsuit. I'm not against the. I've been to a meeting or two with the Landing Square group, and I thought that they were all in agreement with not putting a Renaissance school there and making it a Landing Square public school. So I don't know where these comments are coming up on the group that's been working for over 6 months or darn near a year on getting petitions for ensuring that Landing Square was built as a public school. Again, we have. I think that the state took over the school district. The numbers were changed to take over the school district prior to you, the superintendent, Ms. Knox. We had a dropout rate of 35% consistently, and then in 2002, all of a sudden, we had a dropout rate of 70%. Well, Senator Wayne Bryant, the convicted felon, took that information and convinced legislation to take over the school district because our dropout rate was off the hook. So now we're expected to take any kind of report that comes from the state after what they did to our city. We can't agree or take any of that to breath, whatever kind of report they want to put against the Camden School District, because you're responsible for stealing $400 million from the Camden School District. Now, Senator Donald Norcross is going to be coming up for election. This gentleman was at a school board meeting. He was sitting on top of $1.2 billion. Governor Christie allocated $675 million of that $1.2 billion, and not one Camden school was on that list. Now, Senator Norcross is going to sit there and tell us that he's a Camden resident, he cares about Camden, but he can't put one school board on a list. Now, Governor Christie, now I'm a Republican. I'm only a Republican in Camden because how disgusting the Democrats are in Camden. Anything that's wrong with our city is definitely from the Democrats. That's why I can't consciously be a Democrat. But let me say this about Governor Christie. Of course he's going to give Donald Norcross what he wants. Donald Norcross asked for four Renaissance schools that doesn't take any money from the state construction money. It's supposed to be done all private money. So of course he's going to agree to that, so he can spend more money across the in the North State, across the rest of the state. But as Senator Donald Norcross is not looking out for your interests, and he's not giving you your school. There's no one else. So we've been out there in front of Cooper Hospital for the last 2 weeks, and we're going to be out there again. And we tell George Norcross, speak to the men in Camden like you speak to our women that are in leadership. Come talk to us the way you talk to them. Because apparently our chairman of the board, Susan Dunbar Bay, comes out to us in our group while we're protesting and tells us that the white man is running the city of Camden. Well, who is the white man that's running the city of Camden? Is it George Norcross? Well, we all know that he's an organized criminal. Governor Chris Christie, when he was U.S. Attorney General, listened to the tapes when this man was threatening elected officials. He knew that they had a RICO case on him, and he blames the New Jersey Attorney General for dropping the ball. Well, this man is taking phone calls, and he is aiding and abetting an organized criminal in Camden. He is empowering him in our city of Camden, and now look what he's doing to you now. Thank you very much.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have committee reports, and we only have 2 committee reports that have recommendations. We had a curriculum committee on February 13th, 2011, and this recommendation was approved last month. However, the wording wasn't correct, so it's being amended. Do you have it, the one from February 13th?
What is it? You said it was already approved?
But the wording was not correct, so how do we handle it?
Make a motion to rescind the prior one.
Okay, so I make a motion. Could I have a motion to rescind the prior one from last month with the incorrect wording on the February 13th curriculum report?
Would you have to rescind the whole report, or just make an amendment to
You're gonna approve the next one, right?
Well, the report is the same, but the wording of the recommendation was not exactly correct, so it was asked to reword it correctly. So the report is,
Why don't we do this? Why don't you and I discuss it so we can get the wording correct?
well, the wording is correct
Oh, okay.
now. The wording is correct now.
Read it into the record.
If the old one was incorrect.
The reason that I asked is, I don't know who made the motion, but someone on, and I don't think there was a dissenting vote,
No, there weren't.
a negative vote. So someone that was in the majority, the prevailing vote, can make the recommendation for the change.
All right. I don't know who did it, because we'd have to go look in the minutes. So can we just,
So you just want to amend it?
We voted on the report last month.
whenever we have recommendations, we need to recommend it to the superintendent and the administration. But after they looked at the wording was not exactly correct on the recommendation. This is something a little bit different. This is the February one.
Does it change the intent or change the, does it change anything?
Yeah, well, that's fine. I'm not on that one. I'm on the one from February. We need to update it.
Since board members and respectfully, there's no procedural requirement to approve committee reports to begin with.
All right,
Since you do approve committee reports and since you want to have an accurate record, I would recommend that the prior report from February be rescinded and you vote to approve this now revised and amended one so that there's no miscommunication or misunderstanding about the accuracy of your records. So,
Point of order. Point of order. And this is like, this board has not and does not vote on committee reports. There's no such thing as voting on a committee report, Lester, Madam President. There's no such thing.
You do it every month,
if I may, I'm still on my point of order. What this board does do is it votes on recommendations made by committees, which the language is included in a committee report. That's been the custom of this board. Is it part of parliamentary procedure? No. Is it strange? Maybe. But has it been the custom, and is there anything legally wrong with it? Obviously not. But let me be clear. We do not, on this board, vote on committee reports. That has not been an action that's been taken since I have been on the board. Sometimes a person says, I motion that my committee report be accepted. There's a correction. Well, we're not voting on a committee report. We're voting on a recommendation that is included in the committee report.
Okay.
It's a technicality, but it's important.
To the extent that that's accurate.
I differ with Mr. Brown, and I've been sitting here, I think, a little bit longer than he has. We have voted on committee reports, whether they had recommendations or not.
I agree
And the
with Mr.
reason that we vote for committee reports is so that we have a consistent record of what has taken place in committee. When a new person comes on and takes on a committee, they can go back and look at the past reports that are filed by our executive secretary. You still file them, don't you, Tanya? Yes. You still file them, don't you? Yes. Well, you go back, the person who is, say for example, if I had not done policy before, I can go back and look at the record and see what was done before because we had,
all right.
The official record was there.
All right, so what do you want to do?
Again, whether
If it doesn't
it's a
change the
report or
intent, leave it
recommendation,
alone.
all I'm saying is rescind the old one, vote on a new one. That's all.
This is the original one that was voted on.
Does it change the intent, Mr. Bay?
No, it just makes
Then
the
leave it
wording. It
alone.
makes the wording more correct.
It wasn't an actual.
We're just
All right then.
Was there a motion, Madam President?
No.
Madam President, I motion that we accept the recommendations made by the curriculum committee to approve the world language curriculum.
No, that we're not even on that one because that was already approved.
Oh, which one am I looking at?
I'm on February the 13th report, and last month I said the wording was not exactly correct, and the intent was the same, and the wording now is the way that
Did somebody ask you to change, to have it?
yes.
So,
At the work session?
No. I can't read it.
I'm going to read it.
Did you already?
The curriculum committee recommends to the superintendent and administration that specific mathematics courses be aligned to the National Common Core standards and the New Jersey Department of Education's initiative to ensure that students across the state of New Jersey are prepared to be college and career ready. We propose that all 7th grade students take pre-algebra to introduce algebraic skills and terminology to lay foundation for the 8th grade algebra course. Students will be given the opportunity to apply critical thinking skills and algebraic skills to problem solving. Students will be introduced to the language of algebra and discover how to apply algebra to problem solving situations. So that's it. That was not all in the wording last month, even though the intent was to say that. So maybe we don't have to do anything.
It's up to you.
I'll just have it in my minutes like that, okay?
And Madam President, I do have a question for the board secretary. Whether are committee reports automatically included in the minutes?
Yes, they are.
So it doesn't matter if we vote or not then?
Well, I think historically, as a board, you did vote on them, but as,
No, that's not
right.
But
They are reflected in the minutes.
All right, then, and we
They are reflected in the minutes.
All right. I need a motion to pay the bills.
Oh, Madam President, excuse me.
We don't have any other recommendations, so
I wanted to give an update, though, on what's going on in the policy committee, because we were given 3 policies.
oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
This committee report right here.
We have a March 12 curriculum committee report with recommendations. Are we not voting on those recommendations?
Okay, I got it. Sometimes when, you all... Okay, the March 12th, we need to do the March 12th.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, March 12th, we had a curriculum committee.
I had the floor.
Okay, wait a minute.
But I would hold. Go ahead.
Okay, hold on. The March 12th curriculum committee, the committee recommends that the superintendent and administration review the attached world language curriculum, which we all got a copy of, for approval and use within the district for the upcoming 2012-2013 school year, and the committee recommends that the superintendent and administration create a resolution for approval of all curriculums that were recommended for approval on curriculum committee reports during the 08, 09, 09, 010, and 010, 11 school years, and I think we did that already tonight. So the second one was done. Okay?
Second. Lamboy moved.
Okay, Mr. Lamboy moved, and who seconded? Ms. Rebuy.
Question.
We're just going to go vote on this one.
Question.
Okay? Yeah.
Question. We're talking about this bilingual ESL world language?
Yes.
Okay. What languages are we talking about?
Spanish, Italian, French.
And Chinese.
And
yes.
what determines who learns what?
Students select what courses they want to take.
Okay, but this starts in kindergarten. So do they select in kindergarten?
We have Spanish instructors starting in the elementary schools.
So it's only Spanish in the elementary schools?
Yes,
Why is that?
because it's very difficult to get foreign language instructors at the elementary level.
Well, that shouldn't be the reason, should it? I mean, if we're trying to prepare our students for the global marketplace.
Last year, I know they had French at H.B. Wilson, so in some places they might have French.
Is that
My
true?
grandson came home speaking French.
You don't know?
I don't know.
No, she's. Oh, okay. Here's Miss Soto. There was a question in regard to the world languages.
Good evening.
So what's the question?
What languages are being... Go ahead, Ms. Coscarelli.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the world languages curriculum that we're supposed to be approving tonight. What languages are taught in the elementary schools?
At the elementary school is basically Spanish.
And why is that?
Because we used to have French, but then there was not a lot of response from the parents and the students to take French. So that was the reason.
But should the rationale be response from parents as opposed to properly preparing our children for the global economy?
Well, if you don't have the population, I mean, what I mean is if you don't have children taking the courses, then there were not enough children taking the courses. They prefer, the parents, we did a survey, the parents prefer Spanish versus French at the elementary level. And we also have only one teacher at the elementary level, which is now at the high school.
Well, that doesn't make sense to me. On your core curriculum content standards, under the same tab name, it says novice -mid, recognize familiar spoken or written words and phrases contained in culturally authentic materials using electronic information sources related to targeted themes, and so on.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me how that's measured?
That is the standard. There's one content standard in the state of New Jersey.
Right. How do you measure it?
Well, we have different assessments and projects based on the grade levels. We have demonstrations of learning for the different students. The teachers have to differentiate instruction, because you know that we have all the children mixed, so you have different levels in the classroom. So the teachers will have to do differentiated instruction. And also we have a series of recommended assessments that we do for the classroom.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to ask, thank you, Ms. Soto. We got these books last week, and we try to clear up all the questions that we have before we come to the board meeting. I don't think it's proper at this time to do that, because we had the book since last Friday.
Well, yeah, Friday. This is Tuesday. I got
okay,
mine
Mr.
Friday
Brown.
night.
Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Soto.
I'm just confused.
Oh, wait a minute. We didn't take our vote, did we?
No, but this is on this before the vote.
Okay.
I'm just confused why we're voting on this through the committee when I thought it was understood that in the future this would be voted on through resolution.
Yeah, we're not voting on this through the committee. We're just making a recommendation to the superintendent and administration for number 1, and then they will come up with the resolution.
I thought we voted on the resolution or not.
We had a resolution for number 2, which is the old ones.
So you're saying that this, because it says review the attached, the committee recommends the superintendent administration review the attached world languages curriculum for approval and use. I don't actually understand even what that means.
For next year, 2012, 2013.
So by vote, wouldn't we be approving? Aren't you asking us to approve the curriculum?
You just approve my report.
No,
they still have to come up with the resolution to submit it to the board.
Okay, and then the other thing is, I'm actually surprised that as many people voted for what you see here for number 2. Many of us weren't even on the board at these times. We didn't see the curriculum. Voting for curriculum is one of the most important things that we do as a board. It's what determines what students are taught in the classrooms. And
Sean, you didn't vote for it, and that could be a further discussion later on.
Wow.
However, we need to move on. It was approved. So
but I do
we can
have to say, Sean, historically, the district voted on the curriculum report as a way of voting on the curriculum.
Yes, I completely understand that, but
That was done,
and
so
they
the
were
state
done
could
in
satisfy.
2007, 2008, 2009. The curriculums came to the board. The board reviewed those curriculums at that time. But when the QSAC team came out in the district, they said the way that we moved the curriculum was not the way that the state recognized. They had to go through a resolution. That's not to say that the curriculum wasn't vetted through in 2007, 2008, and 2009. In those years. Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
that's actually my entire point, that it is retroactive, and I'm now being asked, I was asked to vote on a curriculum that was approved back in 2008 or 2009, a curriculum that I've never seen, that's never been presented to me.
All right, I got you. But the thing about it is, the previous board approved it, and we're trying to correct something that we were asked to correct.
So my issue isn't in the way it was approved. I mean, that's a different conversation. You know, I guess at this point it doesn't
Okay,
matter.
go ahead, Ms. Davis.
We are asked to approve things or reapprove things yearly. When we do the reorganization meeting, we are asked to approve the reports for the substandard schools. You haven't seen it, but you vote for it.
And I vote no because it doesn't make sense to ask me. I'm one of 8 people in this entire city that has the honor and privilege of being able to vote on these things, and ask me to vote on something that's never been presented to me. It really seems strange.
Mr. Brown, there's not going to be a time when every new board member that comes on that you're going to go back 10 years ago to make sure that that board member knows what's been approved by other boards each time you do something. Now, you at reorganization, you do several things.
Because you know what, we're going to move on. What was your report on your report?
You have to do the vote.
Okay, let's go with the
Ms.
vote.
Blackshear?
Ms. Blackshear done.
Mr. Brown?
No.
Ms. Coscarello? Oh, he said no.
This is on the world language curriculum recommendation, or 1 and 2?
Yeah.
We're only on 1 because we had a resolution for 2.
Okay, no.
Again, the resolution is to allow the administration to bring the resolution back.
No.
That's number 1.
She said no. Let's just go on with the vote.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Lamboy?
Yes.
Ms. Rebai?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Dunbar Bay?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
It passed.
Well, Mr. Brown, what was the point that you wanted to make about your...
Ms. Blackshear?
Mr. Brown? Okay, fine, then let's go. No, I'm going to go on with the agenda. Can I have a motion to pay bills?
Excuse me, Ms. Ricketts was talking to Ms. Blackshear. I wasn't going to interrupt her. As you were asking me, right?
Can I have a motion to pay the bills? Can I have a second?
So you're just going to go past me?
All right. Are there any questions on the bills? All right. Can I have the roll call, please?
Ms. Blackshear?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Keep going.
Ms. Coscarello?
It's not funny, and I don't
Ms. Coscarello?
I don't appreciate how I'm treated on this board.
Ms. Coscar?
Yes.
Mr. Lamboy?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Rebai?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Dunbar Bay?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
No.
All right, thank you. We have a couple of closed session items. Richards versus Camden Board of Education, ED 085E-62792, and LR/JR versus Camden Board of Education, 2012-17924.
Mr. Dunbar, could you also add Torres versus Camden Board of Education?
All right, Torres versus Camden Board of Education. Could you say the
That's sufficient. I don't have the docket number with me, but it's Torres, Reverend Torres.
No, I mean
Torres versus
the rest of what we say. Minutes of the And we might discuss other matters of attorney-client privilege. Minutes of the closed session may be made available to the public if and when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Action may be taken when the board comes back into open session. We expect
you also
to
just add personnel to that as well.
Okay, personnel matters.
Item that I asked to be added to closed session tonight at the work session, and I was told by counsel that the person was not riced, which I find strange because on Tuesday night I specifically asked if we could get an update on it. And between that day and tonight, that person didn't receive a rice notice, so I was told we can't discuss the individual in closed session.
So we can't discuss it then.
So
all right. Can I have
can we get a resolution on that, because this is an issue that's come up several times. When the board through a consensus says that a person should be discussed
we're not
in closed
going to
session.
resolve it right now. So can I have a motion to go into close?
So when can we resolve it, Madam President?
Can I have a motion to go into close?
Madam President, when can we resolve it?
We'll put it on the action item list.
Okay, can you put it on the action item list, please, Ms.
What is
Perkins?
that, Mr. Brown?
For the suspended person to be right, so that it could be discussed in our next meeting. No, I disagree with a lot of people on this board, but I try my best.
Did we get a second for the motion to go into close?
Respectful. And the way you run these meetings and the way you talk to me is completely out of line, and I don't deserve it. I don't appreciate it.
Well, you want to hug? Do you want
no,
to
I don't
hug?
want to hug. I want you to do your job as president.
Can I have a second,
I want you to do your
please?
job as president.
Okay, it was moved by, who was it moved by? Ms. Davis, second by Mr. Lamboy.
And if this was being done to any of you other board members, I would not sit here and
can I
and
have
let
the
president
vote,
do that.
please?
I would open my mouth up and
Ms.
speak
Blackshear.
up. This is a democracy. Only 8 of us get a chance to do
Blackshear.
this. Only 8 of us get a chance to do this. Don't say my name to shut me up. Don't say my name to shut me up. Somebody needs to say something to the
Ms.
president.
Coscarello. Ms. Davis.
You shouldn't be treated like
Ms. Davis.
something on this board.
What?
Well, we have a motion to go into close.
Yes.
Mr. Lamboy.
Yes.
Ms. Rebuy.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Dunbar Bay.
Yes.
Mr. Brown.
Yes. Motion to come out of closed session.
Can I have a motion to come out of close? Second. Okay, move.
Okay.
Because you got to wait for our secretary here. She don't have a book open.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot to turn. Motion to come out of close.
It was moved by Mr. Brown, second by whom?
Second.
By Ms. Wilson.
What time is it?
The time is,
10:45.
no, it's 10:42.
42.
Okay.
Ms. Blackshear. Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Coscarello. Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Lamboy. Mr. Lamboy.
Yes.
Ms. Rebuy.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Dunbar Bay.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Motion to adjourn by Ms. Sarah Davis, second by Ms. Wilson.
Ms. Blackshear. Mr. Brown.
Yes.
Ms. Coscarello.
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Mr. Lamboy. Miss Rebuy.
Yes.
Miss Wilson.
Yes.
Miss Dunbar Bay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
You've been watching the regular monthly meeting of the Camden Board of Education from the CCS TV studios. Join us again next month for the regular monthly meeting of the Camden Board of Education.